Hey, here we go with another Heygo rerun. This time we're going to the East Village, not the West Village. Very different.
Very.
This one is in March 2023. Enjoy. Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to New York City.
Welcome to New York City with Heygo. With Heygo's Aaron and Patrick. We're happy you're here. Did I sound like a PBS voiceover?
I'm not sure who you sound. I'm not sure what that was.
Oh.
Yeah, you did. Hi. We're happy you're all with us today. We haven't done a tour in a few days. We've been running around.
Yeah.
But
See?
a nature show. Oh, okay.
Thank you,
I
Julia.
all right. I get that. I heard that.
I think Ian in Birmingham needs to do... I think he...
Nature voiceovers.
Yes. 100%.
That's a brilliant idea.
I mean, I would love that. He would be perfect for it, I think.
Yeah.
Hi, Jane. Hi, Tish.
Hi, everyone.
Jill. Kirsty, welcome. Hope we had a slice of cake. We often have a slice of cake.
That's most days.
True. Yeah. Oh, it's Kirsty's birthday.
Kirsty,
That's exciting.
I know. Happy day to you.
What are you having in honor of your birthday? Cake, pie, ice cream, all the above?
Cookies.
Pie caken?
It's got to be.
A cake made of pie? That's what a pie caken is.
Wait, I thought a pie caken was like a pie and a cake.
Yeah, it's basically that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like pecan pie with an apple spice cake and
Yeah.
pumpkin pie. Yeah. All sorts of stuff on there. If your first cannoli, that's exciting. Let's see. Oh, chocolate cake.
Well done.
Classic.
Well
and
done,
solid.
Kirsty. That is solid.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that is... I mean, I guess that would be... I don't know. I don't know what my top pick would be.
I mean, you can't go wrong with chocolate
You can't go
cake.
wrong, though. Mm-mm. Yeah.
But in honor of your birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kirsty. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Yay. I still owe you a makeup birthday cake because I was so disappointed in that one I made for you.
I mean, you were disappointed in it. I wasn't, but but I won't say no to a makeup cake.
I was going to say it's a really good excuse.
I think it's just a reason to have
be
more
like,
cake.
it was bad. I should make another one, right?
Hi guys.
Oh.
Wait, what does that say?
Oh, sorry.
We're going back on the chat. Go back.
If
Go
I
back.
could turn
Go
back the chat. Oh,
Aaron,
I keep messing up. Okay.
we're going back just a
Yep.
little bit. We missed something.
I think Mickey B's on.
Mickey B.
Oh, you're at a pub and it's butt loud. I don't think you mean butt loud, but I... So you've been watching without
No,
sound.
I think that's what he meant. He can't hear us because it's loud. there.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I love that. Okay, there, we caught up.
All right.
We're about 5 minutes away from starting, by the way, and so you can hear.
Oh, well.
Uh-huh.
Get your headphones in.
Yeah, about 5 minutes from starting our tour, so welcome everybody to the East Village. We're happy you're with us today. It's a beautiful day. The sun is shining, and it was going to be rainy on us, and the rain stayed away, and I'm very pleased about that.
I know, me too. If you happen to be new to us, we're glad you joined us. I'm Patrick.
And I'm Aaron.
And we're happy you're here. And if you are new, if this is your first time doing one of our tours, if you don't mind, let us know in the chat, because we always like to know when we have new friends. Oh,
Jill, I think you mean, did you have to go on? No, I didn't have to go on.
we should explain what Jill's talking about.
Yeah. So Patrick and I both were just standbys for a production of a show called Dear World that was here in New York, running at a venue called City Center, Encores at City Center. And a terrific production, really great, but we were both standbys. Patrick did one performance. I did not have to go on, and I was very happy to not have to go on because it was a lot of lyrics and a lot of dance steps and a lot of lines crammed in my brain that I was worried I wouldn't get right.
Aaron had a trickier standby position than I did because he had to cover two huge roles. Nicola S., you're new to us. We're so glad that you joined us today. Thank you. We'll try not to mess this up as best we can.
Oh, Mark's talking about Traders. Yeah. We've watched it all now. We won't give anything away.
We won't say anything about it.
Yeah.
For anybody that might. And Andrea.
Andrea's new.
Is it Andrea or Andrea? A, Andrea. B, Andrea. Let us know.
Nicola and Andrea / Andrea.
Hey, Andrea. Okay.
There we go. Andrea and Nicola.
Did you hear?
Did you ever do Sweeney Todd?
No, I don't think neither one of us have ever done Sweeney Todd.
But you know what? We're going to do it right now. Attend the tale of Sweeney Todd.
Sweeney.
I would like to do it sometime.
Just
to
do something dark.
Yeah. We typically are in brighter,
splashier. That's true.
Musicals. Mark, you can. There you go. You tested it and it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little dark on our end. The question.
Yeah.
So we have to really focus on it. I'm just going to do this and make sure the brightness is up.
See, now you did it.
I did it on purpose.
See, Oh yeah, Merrili's moving. Yeah, I forget when it is. August,
Stephen
September,
Sondheim,
something like that.
Merrily We Roll Along, moving to Broadway with
Harry Potter.
Who is it?
Daniel Radcliffe.
Daniel Radcliffe is in it.
Hi, Joanna. And Andrea said that she's
Patrick.
enjoying us. I'm glad you're enjoying us.
Evil Patrick. That's a dream role, right?
Oh, James. Yeah, that architecture at City Center really is. It's stunning.
Oh, yeah. That building is really cool.
Yeah, it kind of has a Moorish...
Yeah. It was
a temple?
Yeah. It was a Masonic temple,
Masonic
right?
temple, yeah, I think, yeah. It's really...
Can you ever do...
Well...
We wish. I mean, it's tricky. Of City Center? Is that what...
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it's tricky with the theaters here in New York because they are...
we're creeping out.
There's so many unions involved that it would be... I think it might be a challenge to make that happen.
Yeah. It's always tricky with the bigger theaters here. But
hi, Julianne.
But you know what? I bet sometime we will show the outside of it. I would like to figure out a tour when we're over there.
True.
Because I want to show that 6.5 Avenue. There's a few things over there I want to show on a tour sometime.
Yeah.
So I think the outside of it we will show sometime.
We've not explored... Well, we've explored a little bit of 6th Avenue when we show Radio City, but not higher than that.
Well, I want to do that 6.5, like where La Grande Boucherie is.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Take you to France here in New York.
Did I get a haircut?
Well, you did for the show.
Oh, I did. Got a little trim.
Yeah.
Got a little trimmy trim.
Yeah. Oftentimes when you are working professionally on a show, they will cut your hair for the show. So they cut Patrick's hair for the show. We have good lighting right now.
Oh, my goodness. Pamela in Banff has joined. We're glad you're here, Pamela.
Yeah. Happy you're with us. We are under a minute away from starting.
Yeah. We're standing. I just kind of clocked this address that we're standing under. We're not at 47 East 7th. We're not at 48 East 7th. We are at 47 and a half.
Amazing. Clearly they snuck this one in.
Yeah.
You waited too long to try that cannoli. Not sure what that question means.
Yeah.
But we like Harry Potter.
Yeah. He's Daniel Radcliffe is in the revival of Merrily We Roll Along coming to Broadway.
Yeah.
Yeah. We still have... Oh.
I know. No time.
We have no time now.
Why? Because it's go time. It's Heygo time. Welcome, everybody. We're so happy you're with us on this evening's tour of the East Village. It is 5:30 p.m. I had to just look at the time, by the way. You saw that, didn't you? I couldn't remember what time it was. 5:30 p.m. It's 12 degrees Celsius. It is 53 degrees Fahrenheit. You can tell...
I'm going to do hand puppets. The shadows are really cool.
I know, it's true. Wait.
I can't do it because you're on the right side.
The sun is shining clearly. It's a beautiful night in New York City.
Yeah.
It's the start of the weekend, so we're seeing lots of people heading to their getting off work and heading to their
Weekend
bars
plans.
and enjoying the East Village. This is a live tour. If you have any questions along the way, please feel free to ask us as we make our way through the East Village. And we will be dealing with some traffic on this one. There's a lot of zigzagging on today's tour, so we will potentially miss some questions, although there is the new question feature in the chat, so hopefully that'll help us see those questions a little bit better. Sometimes we do skip a question, by the way, because we know the answer is coming up, so just know that as well.
There's also a really cool feature on this tour. Sorry, I was reading.
Over to you, Patrick.
A really cool feature on these tours. For those of you that may not know this, most of you do, but just in case, you can take pictures. Anytime you see something that you like, hit that picture button. It's either a button right in the center of your screen or over on the side. Click that button when you see something you like, and that picture will be saved in your Heygo profile. And the cool thing is that you can share those. You can text them to your friends or email them and let everyone know where you've been off to virtually.
Finally, if you're having any technical issues at all, take your phone outside and put it inside of moving traffic and let the traffic run it over.
Don't just keep your phone. Try refreshing maybe. You can also get some help from the Heygo team. If you
throw it in front of a train?
That is a possibility.
Just don't hurt anybody.
You wouldn't see the rest of the tour.
But technical issues are the worst.
Yes, they are.
So let Heygo know they want to get things right. We'll keep an eye on our end. We have not had any issues with the signal on this tour, but we never know. It's New York City.
True.
There could be a film shoot. There could be a film crew. There could be a news crew. Who knows what, taking up our signal. But hopefully all is good on our end. But if we do see our signals dip, we will let you know. Enough yammering, right?
Yeah,
let's yammer about our tour instead of just about housekeeping.
Yeah, let's do it.
So we're starting over here at 2nd Avenue and 7th Street. Yeah. And this is the remnants of the Middle Collegiate Church, which was originally built in 1892. Sadly, they had a fire in 2020. We actually have a very, very dear friend who is member of this church, and we checked in with him about it, and the last we said with him, it sounds like they're not going to be able to keep this facade, which is such a bummer. We'll show it from the front, too, when we cross the street.
Yeah, it'll be well lit over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is how they had a fire. They are working on rebuilding. They tried to get landmark status, but they sadly couldn't get it to save any of the remnants left, but...
So welcome to the East Village, everybody. We're going to cross 2nd Avenue. We'll do a pivot turn and show that the front of that church. So East Village is roughly defined as the area east of the Bowery and 3rd Avenue, between 14th Street and north of like Houston and Houston is on the south side, and 14th Street is on the north side. Here's that facade right there, the Middle Collegiate. Linda, not that I know of. I think it was an electrical issue. It was in the height of the pandemic, so they weren't even having services it was the height of lockdown, I should say. They weren't even having services here at the time. So the East Village, it's known for old school bars. It's known for music venues, performance spaces, kind of right next to trendy cocktail lounges, hip restaurants. Originally, this whole area would have been farmland owned by Dutch Governor General Wouter van Twiller. Peter Stuyvesant, actually received the deed to that farm in 1651, and then his family held on to it for over 7 generations until a descendant began selling off parcels of the property in the early 19th century. And we'll talk about him a little bit more as we make our way through the tour. There's still some traces of him left that we'll see along the way. And now this area is kind of populated by some handsome Greek Revival and Federal-style townhouses. The 20s, we saw this area, the 1920s, kind of bring gangsters and bootleggers to the East Village. Then we saw immigrant families of diverse nationalities coming to this area, and we'll talk about that along our way. We saw the Irish and the Italian come in, the Jews, the Poles, the Russians, all begin to settle in this area, primarily a German neighborhood. And again, we'll chat some more about that, just kind of giving you an overview as we walk along. Then we saw the punk rock revolution kind of transform this area in the 70s and 80s. And then gentrification started to move in, and now it's a a little more tame than what we all might think of as the East Village, but still kind of a grittier alternative to Greenwich Village.
Carol asked if we were going to Alphabet City. I think we show a little bit of the letter avenues when we do Tompkins Square Park, right?
Yeah, we'll kind of be over by it at the end of tonight's tour, Carol. So this is McSorley's you're seeing across the street. It was established in 1851, considered to be the longest continuously operating alehouse in the city due to the fact that during the Prohibition they served a near beer that had too little of an alcohol content to be illegal. It has seen such famous patrons as Abraham Lincoln, Teddy Roosevelt, John Lennon, Babe Ruth, Woody Guthrie, as in, this lamb was made for you and me. It still has sawdust on the floor from when it would be laid down because of chewing tobacco. They still do that. Now it helps with beer spills. And it's been in the McSorley family for decades. Before it's been passed around, Matty Maher purchased the bar in 1977, and it's stayed in his family since 1977.
I think we're going to have a little traffic issue.
Maybe over by the blue car, then we're safe. We want to cross the street, but there are 3 cars trying to get out of 3 spots. But we want to show you something here, so we're going to try to get out of the car's ways. So if we just cross the street, we're now in front of McSorley's, but as we look back, you're going to see the St. George Ukrainian Catholic Church. So around the turn of the century, 6th Street and 7th Street, we're on 7th Street right now. 6th Street is just to the south of us, straight ahead. This area would have been known as Little Ukraine, and this church is a little bit of a holdover of that time. It was a newer church for our city and for this area, 1978. And the designs of it are based on the ancient Ukrainian Byzantine style. That's mosaic, that gold that you're seeing there. It's really quite beautiful.
Cheryl, you've been to McSorley's. Well, did you come right out of McSorley's Saturday night and come straight to church on Sunday? Right across the street.
I mean, perfect.
You could have.
And then you can go right into school at Cooper Union, which is going to be our next thing to chat about. The light is hitting it so perfectly. We've got some good light today.
Yeah.
We're going to let him go.
Yeah.
So you can see this kind of brownstone building up here on the corner. We'll get some good shots of it. We'll cross over in front of it. But that's Cooper Union. It's considered to be one of the most prestigious colleges in the United States. It was established by Peter Cooper. So in 1830, Peter Cooper designed, built, and drove the first steam-powered locomotive to operate a public railroad in the United States. It was quite a feat of engineering that helped ensure the future success of the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad, or the B&O. So,
I'm just reading. Sorry.
Oh.
Cheryl said no, she didn't go to church, but she probably should have.
Oh, Carol.
Cheryl, you're giving
Cheryl.
yourself away.
We got the light.
What
Hooray.
happened Saturday night?
So Cooper Union offers undergraduates and master's degree programs exclusively in the fields of architecture, fine arts, and engineering. It's quite selective, an acceptance rate of typically below 10%. Originally offered admitted students a full tuition scholarship. So if you were admitted to Cooper Union originally, you got a full tuition. That stayed on, actually, until somewhat recently. 2014 was when they switched to half tuition, although they're hoping to be back to full tuition by 2028. Now, this building is also famous because Abraham Lincoln gave one of his very famous stump speeches here, February 27th, 1869, and that speech was largely credited with sort of sealing the deal for him as being the Republican nomination for president. There's Mr. Cooper Union right there in front of us. He's got some good lighting. He ensured he would have good lighting for today's tour.
Smart man.
Yeah. Well, you're going to turn the camera there so you get a nice long shot of it as well. And we'll go around the building too, so you'll see a little bit more of it as well. But before we leave this area, we'll just turn and show you the reason they no longer offer those full tuition scholarships is coming into view right here. This kind of funky new Cooper Union building. It's a new classroom, laboratory, and studio facility. And it was designed by Thomas Main of Morphosis Architecture. And it was completed in the summer of 2009, primarily to house the School of Engineering and the School of Art. And it ultimately cost $167 million and really led to some financial trouble through Cooper Union. Again, they think they're going to be back on track by 2028, I think is what it is. Look at the light hitting that.
Oh, yeah.
It's the corner of 2nd Ave and 7th Street right there. Or Cooper Square is what we're in. And as we exit this Cooper Squarea, you'll see all sorts of daffodils coming into bloom.
Oh, yeah.
Our colleagues in Amsterdam are having a heyday, but take that. We got some too.
I know. What's the corner building with?
You know what, Linda? I actually don't know what it is. We're just going to call it the pretty lit building at the corner of 2nd and 7th. I'm assuming that it was originally a private house, but I'm not sure what's in it right now. In fact, it's under quite a bit of renovation, but I'm assuming at some point it was it would have been a bit of a mansion in this area. Another interesting fact about Cooper Union is the reason that they can offer those full rides, that full tuition scholarship, is they actually own the land under which the Chrysler Building stands. So they get some income from that. Let's cross over, shall we? Although is that bus going to block us?
Oh my God! And it's not and you're not in service.
For crying out loud! Okay, so we got to backtrack. Thank you, New York City bus. You know what? While we're backtracking, let's show the Village Voice down there.
Oh yeah.
Many of you might know of the Village Voice. It is, I think now it's only in a digital form.
Yeah, they don't print it anymore.
But it's one of the classic New York City free papers, the rags. So this, I mean, when I first moved to New York, I used to get the Village Voice every week, didn't you?
Absolutely.
And, find out, that's where I always found out where the coolest stuff was, what was happening in New York. But there it is, some remnants of that.
Yeah, that's where it was printed. I'll just zoom in here so we don't have to walk all the way.
Oh, I miss it.
Yeah, same here.
I mean, it was perfect.
All right.
Okay, so we're going to head to the Astor Place area. We don't have a bus to contend with now. And what we're getting ready to cross, actually, is a teeny tiny sliver of... wait for that van to go. I think they're driving a little too fast for my taste.
Slow down, sir.
Look north. You can see a little bit of the Empire State Building.
Oh, yeah, the tippy top of the Empire State Building here. I'll zoom in a little bit.
I know, Jill. I missed Time Out, too.
That spire there, that's the very top of the Empire State Building.
I used to subscribe to Time Out. It was my favorite. And, I still get it. I see it in my Facebook feed. But so this, again, is 4th Avenue. You're seeing more of Cooper Union there. That's the side of the school. And what we're walking along is a teeny tiny sliver of 4th Avenue. So for those of you that have been with us to Grand Central, you know that north of Grand Central, they created new real estate, which they referred to as Park Avenue. And south of Grand Central, that is 4th Avenue. But the people on that 4th Avenue were so envious of those that were north of Grand Central with this new address known as Park Avenue that they petitioned to have the same name. So 4th Avenue was essentially changed to Park Avenue, except for this teeny tiny little area that we're on right now, which still is known as 4th Ave.
The last remnants of 4th Avenue. Andrea and Brian, thank you so much for that follow. That's the best way to know when we're adding new tours, so thank you for that.
And here we are in the middle of Astor Place. You're going to see this big cube right here in the middle with some young folks hanging out. So we'll do our best to not invade their privacy. But they're having a good time by the giant cube here that was established by Tony Rosenthal, artist Tony Rosenthal. It's known as the Alamo. It's a 1-ton Corten steel cube, 15 square feet. It used to be able to be turned on its axis. Right now it's braced, so you can't turn it. But you used to be able to walk up to the and turn it around. And originally it was a temporary piece of public art, but as is the case with a lot of public art in New York City, New Yorkers fell in love with it and petitioned for it to be a permanent piece. So it's been here since 1967, and it's really clicked. It's even, over the years, been spray painted and chalked. It's been transformed into a Rubik's Cube at one point in time. It's really been had a lot of looks, but it is a classic, iconic structure right here in the middle of Astor Place. There's Cooper Union again, and you can even see a little bit of To Science and Art on the top of the facade there. And we're going to cross over here to show you one of the original subway stations right here. So this opened October 27th, 1904. One of the original 28 subway stations of the New York City subway. Now this particular one was named after John Jacob Astor, the first millionaire in New York. I mean, this is a classic one. So
cool.
The architectural look of it is so great. These kind of Beaux-Arts kiosks are really kind of made to look like those found in Budapest, which ran the second oldest subway system. And the entrances kind of mimic exotic summer houses in Persia and Turkey called kushks. And we kind of anglicized that name and we call them kiosks as a result. It is, yeah, Fraser, almost Parisian, agreed. I mean, that's that kind of Beaux-Arts influence that's creeping in there. That New York kind of wanted to adopt that Parisian look, that Beaux-Arts style, because that's when the city was really coming into prominence. Do you want to go? Should we go over there?
Do it.
We might not be able to go inside because he's right there by the door. But we'll see. We just want to show off. Some of you have been with us to some sculpture gardens before on some of our tours, and we've shown off some Jeff Koons work. And here we have a big Jeff Koons piece right here in the middle of this office building. This is an IBM building. Let's see a little bit through the reflection right there. I think he's locking I think he is. He's locking the revolving door. Bummer.
I'm trying to get the reflection, use my hand to block the reflection. We won't be able to get the whole thing in, but it's a really cool sculpture.
So Edward Minskoff owns an equity company, and they erected the building, and this is part of his own personal collection. He's got two pieces, and we'll show another piece around the corner. This is about 14 feet tall, this piece right here by Jeff Koons, and weighs about 6,000 pounds. It's a heavy rabbit.
That is a big rabbit.
Yeah. So we're going to round the corner, and as we round the corner here on Astor Place, you'll see another look at the facade of Cooper Union. And I think the last time we did this tour, it was under complete scaffolding, but they're starting to sort of remove some of it so we can see some of the facade. You'll see at the very top up there, To Science and Art. Again, that institution that offered free tuition up until about 9 years ago, but it's to return in about 5 years.
You know, hopefully we'll get back there soon.
Hopefully, because you got accepted.
Yeah.
Could you show Carl Fisher? I'm not sure what Carl Fisher is. I'm so sorry.
Is that the building where the Kmart used to be? I'm not sure where that is. I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry, Fraser. I'm not sure what Carl Fisher is. Was that the music publishing building we were at? It might have been that one, the music publishing building we were at a couple blocks ago. Here we are in front of Keith Haring, a big Keith Haring sculpture. So this one is entitled Self-Portrait, which I kind of enjoy that. I mean, he says, I'm going to make a self-portrait of myself that looks like me dancing in a full green outfit. Oh, it's a building nearby. Gotcha.
Hello, Stefan. Welcome.
So this is, again, by Keith Haring, called Self-Portrait. It was established in 1989. And should we go up to the base of it as well?
Yeah.
We're going to show basically his signature as well. So again, this is that same building with the Jeff Koons in it. And this is part, when they put up this building, the head of the company who built this building, Edward Minskoff, he put in these. Do you want to go up and show the signature?
Yeah.
He put in these works of art. Right here we go. You can see Keith Haring right here in the back.
Sorry, our gimbal is acting a little screwy. There we go.
Oh. There we go. Maybe our gimbal doesn't like Keith Haring.
Maybe.
All right. So we're going to head along St. Mark's Place, make our way through there. So now we're going to be walking about 3 blocks. Well, we're only going to be going about 1 block of St. Mark's Place, but essentially there's about 3 blocks of it that go over from Astor Place, where we just were, to Tompkins Square Park. This is Tompkins Square Park. This is one of the most famous blocks in the East Village. It's got a mixture of hippie shops, tattoo parlors, and federal-style mansions, believe it or not. Some cool historical buildings along here that we'll be showing off. So around the 1820s and 1830s, Germans began immigrating to the U.S. in droves because of unrest in their home country. And this area became known as Klein Deutschland, or Little Germany. And it was once lined with these elegant, simple, little single-family homes. By 1850, we would have seen half of the townhouses along St. Mark's Place were functioning as boarding houses, as multifamily dwellings. And just 30 years later, about 30 years later, we would see the German-speaking population in Lower Manhattan reach about 250,000, or about a quarter of the city's population, which is just kind of mind-blowing when you think about it.
Sharon and Peter mentioned they don't see a lot of taxis, and it's actually true. We see less taxis than we used to nowadays. That now that Uber is so popular, they make it so easy. Uber does to just use your phone to call a car.
So we're going to find a little nook where we can go right there in the corner, and we'll be out of the way of pedestrian traffic, because we want to show you one of these federal-style mansions we were talking about. This one coming into view right here, right next to Barcade, which is a bar filled with arcade games. Tucked right next to it is this federal-style mansion built in 1831. You see that kind of traditional high stoop, a Flemish bond brickwork, the long to short bricks. Now, this is called the Hamilton Holly House, and it's most notably, it's notable for having been the home to the widow and the children of Alexander Hamilton. So this is where Eliza Doolittle lived for nearly a decade, 1833 to 1842. There's the plaque. We're kind of barricaded on this side of the street, by the way. Otherwise, we'd go over to that plaque up close.
Trapped behind this barricade here.
That is where Eliza Hamilton lived. The Holly comes from one of the kids' Mary names, is where the name Holly comes from. So we're going to continue along St. Mark's Place. Again, it's Friday night in New York. Folks have gotten out of work, and this is a popular bar spot. So you're going to hear some folks enjoying their libations this evening and having a good time.
A kind way.
All along the way. But we're going to pass this first couple of bars and find another little good spot to tuck into. Oh, I guess we can go past this big tree, and that's a good spot. Because we want to point out the Deutsch Amerikanische Scheitzen Goldschaft. How's that for my German?
Well done.
No, that was terribly done. Also known as the German American Shooting Society. So this was built in 1888. This was once the headquarters for 24 shooting clubs where locals would practice their marksmanship, and they would also bond with their fellow countrymen. It's in the German Renaissance Revival style. Pretty ornate landmark building. Also a popular neighborhood gathering spot. To this day, there's a comedy club in the downstairs level, and this is where Yoga to the People started, for any of you that might know of Yoga to the People.
All right.
Great long shot there.
It is a really cool building, too.
It really is. That detail up there at the top is incredible. Let's go ahead and cross over.
Let's do it.
So St. Mark's kind of evolved over time. So I kind of left us with, we saw the German population coming in. In the early 1900s, Little Germany, though, started to kind of shrink in this area. And we started to see Jews and Hungarians and Poles and Ukrainians and Russians all start to move in. And then we saw the beatniks start to come in the 50s, the hippies in the 60s, the punks in the 70s, and the anarchists in the 80s. And the next building we want to show you kind of takes us up to that time, which is now an apartment building with a couple restaurants in the downstairs area, but it's 4 townhouses, all built in 1831, and eventually they were joined together to become the German Music Society, then the Poland National Society home. Then it became the Polish restaurant, the Dom, also Polish for home. And some of you might recognize that name because in 1966, Andy Warhol sublet the Dom and turned it into a nightclub. This is where the Velvet Underground was the house band for his EPI, the Exploding Plastic Inevitable. And it was kind of a multimedia experience that accompanied that band. And later, that's where the Electric Circus Company was as well. Again, it has since been renovated. As we talked about, this area is heavily gentrified now. Although I will say it's such an interesting mix, don't you think?
Oh, yeah. But there's still flavor of like the lower, East Side flavor. And it certainly every once in a while you can get a waft of a smell that is very reminiscent of the 70s. There's a lot of happy people down here.
What do you mean? Get some beautiful blooms coming into view.
I call that a freebie.
So
you're just walking by.
I mean, too much of that, though, and by the end of this tour, who knows what we'll be talking about. Could be a rough one. Do you want to go ahead and cross?
Yeah, let's do it.
And then we'll just so we're going to cross 2nd Avenue. Run! Everybody stay with us. We made it. We're just going to cross 2nd Avenue and do a little pivot and show a couple buildings once we cross over. And this is when we'll start to get even more zigzaggy. We got the light. That's
it's in our favor.
Quite fortuitous. So what we're going to show you once we cross over is the Ottendorfer branch of the New York Public Library. A couple terrific, beautiful buildings in this area, just side by side. Designed by William Schickel, completed in 1884, late Victorian style. You can see that beautiful molded terracotta. The first building in Manhattan to be erected specifically as a free public lending library. Now, that's basically the first of these two buildings you're seeing. I'll talk about the second one in a minute. And that was a gift from Anna and Oswald Ottendorfer, who were immigrant publishers of the leading German newspaper here in the 19th century. And they also gifted, excuse me, tickle in my throat, that building right next to it there that you see, and which is the German dispensary. Here we go, that's the library right there. You can see that red flag is the library. And the German dispensary, pretty cool idea. It was specifically built to be a health clinic for the city's German immigrants who didn't have the means to pay for a private doctor. And as we kind of zoom in there, you can see those busts all around it. It's decorated with famous physicians and scientists of the times, names that probably go over our head now. Lots of folks joining in. Welcome to the East Village. Happy you're with us today. But names like William Harvey and Carolus Linnaeus, Antoine Lavoisier.
Well done.
How dare you laugh at my pronunciations? But they are really
this
terrific.
Building is positively busting with...
Boo. Boo.
All right.
Again, German dispensary right there. Both of those, the library and the dispensary, gifted by the Ottendorfer family. Let's make it past the bike lane before we get run over by it. There's a slew of bikers coming.
What do you call a group of bikers? You know, all birds have like a gaggle
flock
of geese. And
a flock of bikes. I guess so. So the next thing we want to show is, other than some of the cool tenement buildings you're seeing down here, actually is Veselka, which is one of the more popular restaurants in the East Village. It means rainbow, and it was opened in 1954 by Ukrainian refugees Volodymyr and Olga Darmashval. It's open 24 hours a day. It serves delicious Ukrainian dishes like pierogies and stroganoff, borscht, and goulash. Remains a family business to this day. It's owned by a son-in-law and run by a grandson. And I think I just saw that they're going to open up a second location.
Yes, Paul heard the same thing.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. I think I just heard that. And I don't even know that if I read where it's going to be, I missed it. But I think that's terrific for them.
A peloton of bikers. I like that.
Oh, that's a good one, a peloton of bikers. So bear with us as we deal with a little bit of traffic to cross. But I will tell you while we're waiting for our green light, that where we're walking right now, this would have been the Jewish Rialto, or the Yiddish Theater District. So the Yiddish Theater would have arose in this area in the 1880s. So around that time, the Lower East Side and the East Village is kind of part of the Lower East Side, although now sort of its own area. But we saw a new wave of immigrants in this area who were striving for success in America, and they were attempting to maintain their cultural roots. And so Yiddish theater was a way to be both entertainment and education for these new immigrants. So you'd see various kinds of plays and dramatic Shakespeare-inspired work and comedies, political puppet theater, again to sort of educate them as well, and kind of everything in between. That still lives on with the National Yiddish Theater at the Museum of Jewish Heritage, which is down by Battery Park. And we get a little taste of that, too, in the pavement right here. We have the Yiddish Theater Walk of Fame. And this could be tricky. We've got a lot of folks walking by.
Yeah, pretty pedestrian traffic-y today.
But this was installed in 1984, right outside of what was originally known as the 2nd Avenue Deli, which is now on the Upper East Side. But there's a bank right in front of us, and that's where the 2nd Avenue Deli was originally located by a Holocaust survivor, Abe Liebewald. And it's his idea to install this Walk of Fame right here. Henrietta Jackson Julius Adler. I wonder if that's part of Bruce Adler's family. I don't know if any of you know of Yiddish performer Bruce Adler, but he was also in Crazy for You on Broadway. And I've always been told he has a star in the Walk of Fame here, and I've never seen it, but maybe that's part of the family. So we're going to cross over Stella Adler. Could be. Do you want to cross or stay over here?
Let's stay over here because we get a better view of the...
Oh, yeah, the church. So this is St. Mark's Church in the Bowery that you're seeing right here. It's got 350 years of history. It's New York's oldest site of continuous religious practice. The church itself is the second oldest church in Manhattan behind St. Paul's Chapel that we show on our Lower Manhattan tour. In the Georgian style, it was built by John McComb Jr., a name that might sound familiar, also one of our designers of City Hall that we show downtown. This was completed on May 9th of 1799, and Alexander Hamilton, heard of him? Anyone? Helped incorporate St. Mark's as the very first Episcopal parish independent of Trinity Church here in the United States. Interestingly enough, Frank Lloyd Wright was actually commissioned to design a high-rise apartment over this, which underneath this is the grave of Peter Stuyvesant, who is we were chatting about earlier, owned a lot of this land here. But the Great Depression got in the way of that, and today the church remains as it once was, fortunately.
Yeah, really cool. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, let's step over here.
Okay. We didn't sneak this in last time, but we're gonna mosey over here for just a really cool shot. So we see a bit of a split of the streets here. If you've been on our tours before, we talk a lot about the 1811 Commissioner's Grid Plan of 1811 that grids out the streets. But we are not in that area. We're starting to kind of get in that area, but we still have some streets that slice through here in various ways. So 10th Street to our right is part of that grid plan. And then the street that veers off to our left is Stuyvesant, named for Peter Stuyvesant, who owned a lot of this property. But as a result, we kind of get this sort of Flatiron area.
We could get
right
thwarted
here
with the sun in the background, but
yeah,
but I just love this little view right here. Let's go give a long shot.
Elizabeth asked about the statue in front of the church, and you know what? We're going to backtrack and go back in front of the church. So I'll tell you about. There's a few statues. You might have been talking about the lion statue sculpture that was there. They were. It was acquired in the 1920s by Reverend William Norman Guthrie, who was the pastor at the time, and it's a symbol. The symbol of St. Mark is the lion in the New Testament, so that's why there's the lion statue right there. Should we go for it?
Yeah.
Okay, everybody stay with us. Make sure this Hyundai doesn't bowl us over. We made it. Is that the one you meant was the lion statue that you can see right here?
Yeah, we'll go back to it right now because we're going to pass right by it. So.
Yeah, we're telling you the truth. We wouldn't be lying.
No.
Andrea,
I saw it coming.
Andrea, Nicola, these are the jokes. These are the jokes, folks. So again, in the New Testament, the symbol of St. Mark's is the lion, and the church we're in front of is St. Mark's Church in the Bowery. Thank you, Joanna. Joanna appreciated my joke. All right, so we're going to mosey along the side of St. Mark's, and then we'll cross over and head along 11th Street. And there's we have, again, Peter Stuyvesant is buried here. Some other notables from way back when. Now they do really cool performances in They open up this church for as a performance venue for various orchestras and theatrical performances. So they really kind of open up their doors to this neighborhood and a lot of the groups that are in the neighborhood here. Oh, that light is not in our favor. That's so rude.
That is rude.
I know.
But we'll cross over there and then show back.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So we're just going to cross 2nd Avenue. We're here at 11th Street, and we're going to make our way down 11th Street. But when we cross, we want to look back and show you. And that bus is going to be rude again. All the buses are rude to us today. Patti Smith debuted there. Didn't know that. That's pretty cool. That's really cool. Everyone's just getting off work and heading home or heading to meet up with friends at the bar.
Yeah, the joint is jumping this Friday evening, early evening.
Now, when we cross over, we're going to look back and we're going to show you a shot, somewhat briefly, of the Village East Theater, which is a movie theater. And it was part of that Yiddish theater district that we were talking about earlier when we were talking about the Jewish Rialto.
Barbara, what is the typical rental for a one-bedroom? Well, gosh, that's a tricky question.
$1 million.
Yeah, it sort of depends. I mean, if you really hunt for a good deal, I mean, I'd say you're gonna drop a couple grand probably.
Now, there's that Village East Theater that you're saying. Again, that was part of the former Yiddish theater district, designed in the Moorish Revival style. It was completed in 1926, and that is where Grease the Musical started, as in Go Grease Lightning, go. And Man of La Mancha started there. So I'm glad we can all dream our impossible dreams because of that wonderful musical. Exactly, this car is hydromatic.
Oh,
all right, so we're going to continue along 11th Street and veer away from 2nd Avenue now. Now, as we're walking along, I'll give you a little bit more, some fun facts about the East Village. We covered the nitty-gritty about it at the top of the tour, but we have about 64,000 people who reside in the East Village. It is the birthplace of, get ready for this, I know you think I'm going to say it's some famous person, but nope. It's the birthplace of the shag haircut. 1965, Paul McGregor opened a salon at 15 St. Mark's Place. St. Mark's Place is where we were walking earlier, and began giving that messy, multi-layered cut at that time. There's some famous shag cuts. Goldie Hawn had one, right? She had a good old...
Carol Brady from the Brady Bunch.
Carol Brady, yeah. Here's a story. Also opening in 1935, the very first federally subsidized public housing project in America can be found here in the East Village. Some famous movies that have filmed in the East Village: Taxi Driver, Godfather Part 2, Ragtime, Rent, How We Gonna Pay Next Month's Rent. So the next couple of things we want to show you are some popular, what's that noise we're hearing?
I'm not sure. Might be I don't know.
Street cleaner. As we get closer, you'll hear what we're hearing. There's some sort of, it sounds like a plane is driving along First Avenue up here.
Yeah.
But as we approach up here, you can see these neon signs. Veniero's, this pastisserie and cafe right here. It's been in the family since 1894. Famous for its Italian homemade baking, biscottis, cannolis, Italian butter cookies, and so much more. A classic joint. If you're coming to the East Village, definitely check out Veniero's. Let's maybe go up to the window and show.
Yeah.
You can see some of the treats inside. Look at these cookies.
Oh my God.
Holy cow. I'll take one of each, please.
Oh, yes, please.
Delicious. Julia, you know some of the family.
Oh, that's cool.
That's a good family to be in with.
Yeah, can you get us a discount?
Yeah, exactly.
Someone says, will we purchase any today? Not today. It looks pretty crowded in there today. If it's not crowded, sometimes we do try to go in, but it's a big crowd in there today. And someone put in the chat the cost. It really depends. I mean, if you really search around, you can find a deal, but, rent in New York is pretty pricey.
I think they were making a rent joke. $565.
Oh my God. No, somebody prior to that.
Oh, prior to that, sorry. I see.
Yeah.
So this is Russo's right here, homemade mozzarella and pasta. Shop is very, very tight, so we won't go inside here. I see the other rent in there. But again, you can do back-to-back, get some homemade pastry items at Veniero's, and then go next door to Russo's, and then cross the street, and you'll see this incredible mural of RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. So it's by New York street artist Elle. Instagram is Elle Street Art, ELLE Street Art, curated by the public art charity Lisa Project, which many of you have heard us talk about on our Little Italy walk. Of course, RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, stands as the centerpiece of this mural. The flowers in the bottom left are black-eyed Susans, which represent justice. The Brooklyn Bridge is in there, which signifies her childhood. Lots and lots of hints throughout. Her collars, gentle nod to Biggie, the rapper, because of their namesake, Notorious RBG. Pretty cool mural. And I think we can go ahead and cross the street, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
I see what the noise is.
Yeah, so we've discovered what the noise is. The electric company is doing some work. You can see there.
You guys, we have a geyser in You've been to Yellowstone to see the geyser, but you didn't know we have one right here in New York. And we also have a great mural of Michael Jackson right here. Features Michael Jackson's face kind of split, half as a child, half as an adult. This is by Brazilian artist Eduardo Cobra with a K. He's painted 500 murals all over 1,700 countries all around the world. We also see him on our Highline tour, where he did Mother Teresa and, oh my God, I'm blanking, Mother Teresa and Gandhi.
So it's going to get a little bit loud as we walk by the work that the electric company is doing. But
that's
with
fun.
Yeah.
So we're walking south on First Avenue right now. We're going to go right past New York City's natural geyser. Very exciting. It almost seems like they're filming something.
Oh, I think they are.
So they're doing this for some sort of filming.
Yeah, this is a film shoot of some sort.
Woo!
Yeah, that's a film shoot truck right there, and this is all film equipment. So I bet I don't know what they're doing, but
oh my Lord, that's loud.
That is loud.
We can barely hear ourselves think. Okay, so
there's Clooney. Oh,
I know exactly. All right, so we're going to keep heading down First Avenue. Across the street, you'll see this white building there, kind of a short, squat white building. That's Theater for the New City, an off-Broadway venue that's been there since 1971. And it has a resident theater program there. And it's been quite crucial to, or instrumental, I should say, to the careers of some notable folks over the years. Take a peek. We can maybe walk along here, I bet. I don't see any buses coming. But some of those names that have kind of had their careers start here. Oh, sorry, I thought you were pointing at a question. Sam Shepard, Charles Busch, Vin Diesel, Oscar Nunez, and Tim Robbins and Adrian Brody, both Academy Award winners, in addition to many more. So, again, that's Theater for the New City right there.
Okay.
All right. Continuing on down, we're going to make our way back to St. Mark's. So we sort of skipped one block of St. Mark's, if you're keeping tabs on our East Village walk today. But we're going to go back to St. Mark's now. We'll turn left on St. Mark's and walk that final block and end over by Tompkins Square Park in just a couple minutes. But we have a couple more things we want to show you before we wrap it up. You want to go for it?
Yeah.
Oh, they're stopping. I see. Okay, good. If we were to go right here at St. Mark's, we would be right by the Theater 80 St. Mark's, which sadly during the pandemic has fallen on hard times. But it was had a jazz gallery, Thelonious Monk. That took me a few tries to get out Thelonious. Thelonious Monk started there. John Coltrane, Frank Sinatra performed there. Billy Crystal was an usher over there. I actually think we might be able to see the sign once we clear this black van. Yeah. You can see, and then the tree covered it for us. How rude. But right above that red outdoor dining over there is the black sign for Theater 80 St. Mark's. So again, pretty popular place. It became a cinema in the 70s. That's when we saw a lot of... we're going to turn left.
Yeah.
Here. Ah.
Sorry, I'm just zoomed in.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to...
Was it my nose? Were you zoomed in on my nose?
No.
So now we're back to St. Mark's Place, and we're going to do this one final block.
Yeah.
And what we want to show off, actually, is what was the photograph. They took a photograph of these buildings that we want to show off for Led Zeppelin's Physical Graffiti cover. So you can see these buildings coming into view right here. And these two buildings, 96 and 98 St. Mark's Place. And we're going to plop into the chat that cover right there. If anybody is a Led Zeppelin fan, you can see it right there again, Physical Graffiti. And also it was seen in the Rolling Stones video, 1981 video for Waiting on a Friend.
Really cool.
Yeah. All right, so, sorry.
Yeah.
So we're going to continue the rest of this walk on St. Mark's Place, so you can get a little bit more of the East Village vibe as we walk along here. Look at that mural up there on the building. It's pretty darn cool. Quite a few murals in this area. Oh, also on the garage door at the base of it, too.
Yeah, yeah. Fraser loves the fire escapes. It's a classic New York shot, these fire escapes all over New York City. For anybody that may not know, that's to create a second exit. You know, in the 1800s, they had such a problem with fires that they created a law that every establishment had to have a second way out. And so that's why all of these fire escapes were added in the 1800s.
And as we get to this at the end of this block, you'll see it kind of open up into a nice little green space with trees just starting to get some buds. And that's going to be Tompkins Square Park. Some of you have joined us in Tompkins Square Park before. And we do a tour there. I can't remember if we have it on their schedule, if it's coming up or not. I honestly can't remember.
I don't know. We said we would wait until that started blooming a little more.
Yeah, so we'll probably give it another month before we plop that one back in the schedule, so that we can see all the trees in full bloom as we make our way over here. But this is about 10.5 acres, or about 4.2 hectares, and it's named for Daniel Tompkins, who served as a governor of New York from 1801 to 1817. So that's Tompkins Square Park. And we're going to end our tour here today. Oh, there was a big canister of relish. Somebody said, I don't want my relish for my hot dog. But we're so glad you all joined us today in the East Village. It was a beautiful walk. Good luck.
The days are getting longer, so we have light later in the day, which is nice.
Yeah.
See, in honor of wonderful town. How about Ohio?
Why did I ever leave Ohio? That would be the dramatic reading of it. That's a very, very random request.
I know, that really was. Thank you all for joining us today. This is a relatively new tour for us still, Lower East Side. And we're going to continue to try to venture out into other neighborhoods in New York. You bet, Sharon and Peter. There's so many great places you can go. Julianne in Germany's on, Stefan in Amsterdam, and Pamela in Banff is on. So check out all of their tours. There's endless possibilities on Heygo. You can practically tour almost 24 hours a day now.
Yeah,
there's a few wee hours in the morning here. That they don't always have tours, but almost 24/7.
Should we wake up in the middle of the night and do a tour at that time?
Yeah, just like here's
3:30 in the morning.
Yeah, this is what we look like in the middle of the night.
This is what New York City, our block is
just
like.
Hair.
Yeah, my hair is like just massive in the middle of the night.
Messy.
Also, if you, Nicola and Andrea and anybody else who might be new, if you're still around, if you stuck with us and you want to see more, the best thing to do is to follow us. And then you find out when we put up new tours, like Upper West Side, as Patrick said, we're venturing out into new neighborhoods.
Yeah.
That's next Tuesday, I believe.
Yeah, we're doing the Upper West Side. The Upper West Side is a large area of Manhattan. So we're just going to do a portion of it, but that's exciting that we're going to venture out into a new neighborhood.
I enjoy that, Fran. Wake me up before you Heygo go. And we also have, speaking of new, we're going to the Macy's Flower Show, which is on Monday, which is new and not new. The reason I'm saying that is we do this one every year, but they change the flower show every year. So we're doing that one on Monday. And I forgot who it was, but somebody said what Sundays was, right?
Paul put in there that we're going to see the Statue of Liberty on Sunday. We're not going to Liberty Island, though, Paul. We have tried so many ways to go to Liberty Island to check out the Statue of Liberty. And the only way we have discovered is if we do one of the tours, the boat tours, that goes right by the statue. We can get really close to it, but we'll have to jump on their Wi-Fi in order to do it. We've gone on the island. We've tried boosters. We've tried all of the ways to be on the island and show up close and personal.
We tried swimming too, Mike. We've done it all. Oh, that's right. The Easter parade. Thanks for mentioning that, Corinne. Yeah, we've never done it. I mean, we've done it in person, but we've never done it with Heygo before.
Yeah, on Easter Sunday, we're gonna walk down Fifth Avenue in our best Easter bonnets and show off some of the...
I just got excited about the Easter bonnet. Sorry. I then was like, do we make an Easter bonnet, or are we going to wear something we already have?
I think we should wear like one of our nice hats.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to make bonnets, we can.
I might.
Thank you, Tish. Thanks, Tish, for putting in all those links. That's so kind of you. Hey, goose.
Well, you know what? We're going over time, but essentially, there's a competitor in New York.
Yeah.
And it's they weren't on today's tour. It's typically when we're in parks, but it's heygoose.com. Yeah.
Thanks, Rosemary, for that follow. We'll leave them with this nice,
I love it,
classic shot of the tenement building.
Yeah.
Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you all again soon. And
canister of relish. Somebody said, I don't want my relish for my hot dog. But we're so glad you all joined us today in the East Village. It was a beautiful walk. Good luck.
The days are getting longer, so we have light later in the day, which is nice.
Yeah.
See, in honor of wonderful town. How about Ohio?
Why did I ever leave Ohio? That would be the dramatic reading of it. That's a very, very random request.
I know, that really was. Thank you all for joining us today. This is a relatively new tour for us still, Lower East Side. And we're going to continue to try to venture out into other neighborhoods in New York. You bet, Sharon and Peter. There's so many great places you can go. Julianne in Germany's on, Stefan in Amsterdam, and Pamela in Banff is on. So check out all of their tours. There's endless possibilities on Heygo. You can practically tour almost 24 hours a day now.
Yeah.
There's a few wee hours in the morning here. That they don't always have tours, but almost 24/7.
Should we wake up in the middle of the night and do a tour at that time?
Yeah, just like here's
3:30 in the morning.
Yeah, this is what we look like in the middle of the night.
This is what New York City, our block is
just
like.
Hair.
Yeah, my hair is like just massive in the middle of the night.
Messy.
Also, if you, Nicola and Andrea and anybody else who might be new, if you're still around, if you stuck with us and you want to see more, the best thing to do is to follow us. And then you find out when we put up new tours like Upper West Side. As Patrick said, we're venturing out into new neighborhoods.
Yeah.
That's next Tuesday, I believe.
Yeah, we're doing the Upper West Side. The Upper West Side is a large area of Manhattan. So we're just going to do a portion of it, but that's exciting that we're going to venture out into a new neighborhood.
I enjoy that, Fran. Wake me up before you Heygo go. And we also have, speaking of new, we're going to the Macy's Flower Show, which is on Monday, which is new and not new. The reason I'm saying that is we do this one every year, but they change the flower show every year. So we're doing that one on Monday. And I forgot who it was, but somebody said what Sundays was, right?
Paul put in there that we're going to see the Statue of Liberty on Sunday. We're not going to Liberty Island, though, Paul. The only way we have tried so many ways to go to Liberty Island to check out the Statue of Liberty. And the only way we have discovered is if we do one of the tours, the boat tours, that goes right by the statue. We can get really close to it, but we'll have to jump on their Wi-Fi in order to do it. We've gone on the island. We've tried boosters. We've tried all of the ways to be on the island and show up close and personal. Yeah.
We tried swimming too, Mike. We've done it all. Oh, that's right, the Easter parade. Thanks for mentioning that, Corinne. Yeah, we've never done it. I mean, we've done it in person, but we've never done it with Heygo before.
Yeah, we're gonna on Easter Sunday. We're gonna walk down Fifth Avenue in our best Easter bonnets and show off some of the.
I just got excited about the Easter bonnet. Sorry. I then was like, do we make an Easter bonnet, or are we going to wear something we already have?
I think we should wear like one of our nice hats.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to make bonnets, we can.
I might.
Thank you, Tish. Thanks, Tish, for putting in all those links. That's so kind of you. Hey, goose.
Well, you know what? We're going over time, but essentially, there's a competitor in New York.
Yeah.
And it's they weren't on today's tour. It's typically when we're in parks. But it's heygoose.com. Yeah.
Thanks, Rosemary, for that follow. We'll leave them with this nice,
I love it,
classic shot of the tenement building.
Yeah.
Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you all again soon. And thanks, everybody.
Mickey B, I thought you didn't have the sound on. Clearly you must.
Classic East Village shot here of the tenement buildings. That's a really cool building.
Enjoy your weekend. We'll see some of you tomorrow in the subway. We do Subway Art Part 1 tomorrow morning here in New York.
Take care, everyone. We'll see you soon.